I've made a little purchase. No purchase is very inexpensive for me on my budget, but to relativize this, for some, this small container, which can hold a 6-pack of Pepsis or anything like that, costs less than a carton of cigarettes if you buy a premium brand. I didn't know whether I'd be throwing the money away. I thought maybe it's bogus, maybe it won't even work. But what it is a stupid purchase for most people. You know, it would be really a toy if a person bought this to cool down a 6-pack of Pepsi. It'd be dumb. But, lo and behold, this device can heat or cool and runs on AC or DC, 12 volts DC or 110 AC, and it can hold 6 weeks of insulin that I have to take. In other words, I can get, for example, on a Greyhound bus and use AC. All the Greyhounds now offer AC ostensibly for a laptop and also USB. I could get on a Greyhound bus with this lightweight little cooler and travel cross-country and never have to go to an ER to get fresh insulin. The temperature in this box is now 44 degrees. You see an insulin pen in there. Happens to be an empty one for illustrative purposes. There's the cord for use with a cigarette lighter. So, what has happened is I have discovered that this machine has a shoulder strap that's adjustable. It's very lightweight. It weighs itself about as much as a 6-pack of Pepsi. And then it can carry its own weight in terms of a 6-pack of Pepsi. But it'll never be used for something as stupid as that. It will enable me a degree of mobility and convenience that I had lacked until I ran across this item and bought it. If I had bought something similar using Medicare, the cost would have been north of $600. But because I simply bought something that is sold to Joe Sixpack, and if he's stupid enough to buy this instead of an ice chest to cool down more at one time and quicker, if anybody's stupid enough to buy this who doesn't have to carry insulin, well, that person will be subsidizing the mass production of these so they can be sold for the price of a carton of cigarettes to a diabetic like me. Well, hallelujah. Isn't that wonderful? I can now board a bus from Birmingham to Phoenix and never have to worry about insulin for 6 weeks. And on a Greyhound bus, as I say, there's a 110 outlet that I can use for this cooler rather than a laptop. Then there's one little caveat. The instructions say never run the unit more than 36 hours without turning it off for an hour. In other words, theoretically, every 36 hours or so, in practical terms, maybe an hour per day, every 24 hours, I should let the unit rest for an hour. Well, of course, it's insulated, so the insulation would take care of the insulin during that short interval. It also cools down much more rapidly. It's more powerful than I thought for a transistorized cooler. It cooled from room temperature to 43 degrees within 90 minutes. So that gives some indication of how much power it has. Any place it would be likely to safeguard insulin would be no warmer or colder than a room or a bus or car. So, in other words, it turns out to be okay for me for a fair investment. I doubt that I'll ever use it for heating food, but theoretically, if you turn it off for 5 minutes, you can switch from hot to cold or cold to hot. I don't know how hot it would get. I have no idea what the temperature would be when set to warm, but what I found out during the course of the day is it levels off at 43 degrees when set to the cool setting, which is just right for insulin. So, I can recommend this. You can find it on eBay. The name of it, let me see if I can find that. SMAD. It's a Chinese name. SMAD is the name of the company. You can search for SMAD and find this on eBay. So I'm really just talking to people who have anything to do with insulin or anything that they need to cool. I don't recommend that you get this for your six-pack, but I'm glad the six-pack people who subsidize this make it possible for others to buy it for less than the $600 that Medicaid or Medicare would pay for the same idea if it had a big red cross on the side of it or something like that. Okay, that's all for now. I just thought I'd let y'all know that there is this available for your insulin or the insulin for somebody you like. Have a good day.